Maybe I should have a beer. I don't know.
Don't start drinking because of me.
Everything makes me drink. I'm an alcoholic. I'll wait till 3 o'clock.
Right. Okay. There we go. At the top there. Stopwatch clock's ready. Let's set to record. Boom. Ladies and gentlemen, as always, thank you for your patience and welcome to the latest, greatest, soon-to-be, world-defining, well-beaten, world-class podcast of the boys from Bossk. Welcome to the latest edition. Big Dave, how you doing, man? It's been a while. It feels like a while.
I saw you Wednesday.
Huh?
I saw you Wednesday.
I know, but our audience haven't. Stop going all Drax on me. What do you mean? I saw you yesterday. Our audience have not seen us for a while, and it's time we gave back some love.
Weeks, hasn't it?
It has. It's been a while. There's lots of change going on at the moment with the new establishment, which the boys from Bossk is part of. It's all looking quite exciting as we move ahead. I know the website is down. The website is down with good reason.
Because we're changing it.
It's part of the whole change as we move forward. And like I said, there's some nice things coming down the road. We will be launching our Patreon in the next couple of weeks. So feel free to join that and donate what you can. We as they say, beggars cannot be choosers. But I hope you'll find our product and produce of great worth.
Can I get paid?
Huh? No, not yet. A couple of years. A couple of years you start getting paid. But for the time being, it's all about building the organization as such. I'll be joining the Adobe gang, the Adobe Creators gang soon, and training up on how to edit videos and stuff like that, which will be quite exciting. But for the small fee of £16 a month, which your donations will also go towards, as well as equipment and other things. But adventures over at the horizon, things are happening. It's getting quite exciting. But as always, Boys from Bossk is part of that. One of the most popular podcasts we have on the new establishment. It's quite an exciting gig to do it. Some of the stuff we have to do
as well. Save me fine.
We can ask, Dave. That's all we can do. We can ask. What's been very, very interesting is me and Dave have been doing some of our most favourite things over the past couple of weeks, and they haven't been as enjoyable as we would hope they would be. Now, I was going to leave this till late in the show, but I think we should do this top because it's something we've done quite recently. We went to the latest Comic-Con at Excel. And it was I personally think it was a massive disappointment in so many ways.
Huge disappointment.
And not what I was expected, because I thought I'm pretty sure I've been to a Comic-Con up there before on my own. And it was a lot busier. There were a lot more people. I know COVID's taken a toll.
I don't know. No, it was busy.
But it was busy, but there wasn't
just
enough,
nothing to do.
Yeah, there was not enough stuff going on, considering how busy it was. And it just felt like, as Honey said, a money grab.
It was a big cosplay supermarket, wasn't it?
Yeah, I'm very surprised. I don't know if it's a British thing or not, but the attitude just seems to be to do as little as you can to get as much money as you can out of people. And there didn't feel like there was any sense of community there. There didn't feel like anybody was really having a particularly good time. And it was I just found the whole thing slightly disappointing. I thought
outside people were having fun.
Well, yeah, they were showing off their costumes, like we're outside.
No, but they were doing like stunts and stuff like they were cheerleading squad, building pyramids and stuff like that. That was quite cool.
I did not see the cheerleaders.
Oh, there were people entertaining us outside, but inside it was just terrible.
Your sound's gone funny again, David boy.
Might be a glitch in the Matrix.
I don't know why it's doing that. Hold on, let me.
What have you done?
Nothing. I'm just picking up a lot of interference. Sorry, ladies and gents, stick with us. We're still here.
Technical error.
Technical error. Just gonna start.
This is why we need the page.
or a sound guy. Yeah, it's definitely interference. Are you wearing are they new earpieces you've got?
Oh God, here we go again. It's always the earpiece problem, isn't it? I can hear you perfect.
So you're no crackling on my side. All right. Do you want to record your sound? How do I? Let me remember how I do that.
I just press record, don't I?
Yes. I need to authorize you to record. All right. I'm going to stop recording. We're going to stop recording and start that whole thing again.
What a terrible show.
Well, it's for the pod. Oh, could I just edit it?
No,
if you're going to record the sound, we'll need to start again. All right. I'm not going to stop the podcast. I'm just going to start the audio podcast again. So that's for our listeners online. So stop recording. Okay. Have you got the record button on your side?
Yeah.
Can you just test it works? Because I might need to authorize you to.
Oh, it says I need permission.
Right. Let me give you. Right. Cool. There we go.
There you go. Now it's recorded.
Okay, all right, that might do the job. Unfortunately for you YouTube listeners, Dave's going to sound like, I don't know, Yoda on speed, but...
Why is it going to be like that?
I don't know, because they'll hear what I'm hearing, I presume.
Oh.
All right, but what's
it? For the day. Don't bother me.
Well, I can't, without the Dave, it's just not the same. We'll see
how
it goes. We'll see how it goes.
Right, so is that what you're saying? I can do that.
I don't know what the inference is. Well, it doesn't matter at the moment because if you sound all right on your side, when I put the edit together, which I'll get you to send me, it should be fine. Or if you have the complete edit on your side, then it's all right. Do you know what I mean? So either which way it'll work out. Right, let's do that from the top then. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the latest edition of the Boys from Bossk. I'm here with Super Dave. Don't worry, I'll edit this later on. But Super Dave, how are you? You all right?
You know.
All right. So we'll be talking about the. We've been talking this week about disappointing Comic-Con. Me and Dave went there. It felt like a money grab. There was no atmosphere, and it was just. Like Dave has said, there was so much more to do previously. Now, I can't remember the last Comic-Con I went to. The last event I went to was Celebration we did at Excel. Yeah, we both went to Celebration, and that was quite a lot of fun. Now, I just think, I don't know, it just feels like there's a bigger business opportunity there. And it's something I've started looking into to see if it's possible.
The Star Wars thing, it was just when Rogue One came out. So you had all the character suits in cases. You had original cast members there doing interviews from like the original Star Wars. You had like Carrie Fisher and people like that.
Yeah, and
you had big names.
Yeah, and you had they had a massive stage in the middle of in one of the halls.
That's right.
You had lots of rides. I think they even had a fun fair. Rides in there and stuff like that.
But they had simulators and stuff, didn't they?
Yeah, and all the games companies were there. This one, there was literally no. The only big name that was there, I think, was Paramount
TV show.
And Paramount were just promoting
the Halo TV show.
Yeah, and only 20 minutes of it, right?
So which comes out this week. So what was the point?
They had Bandai there. Obviously, Forbidden Planet were there. But I was just like.
Yeah, but Forbidden Planet was only doing signings. There was no toys or comics.
No,
they had author signings.
Well, no, there was some quite interesting ones. I did pick up a few interesting book and writers who were there. Like I did go and listen to.
That's what I mean. There was authors and writers there that people wouldn't know unless you're into that sort of thing. But
and one thing that having less people did help with, and less going on, is I did get to speak to a couple of comic book writers, and I bought some of their comic books. I saw some of the smaller artists, which were quite nice. What do I have there? Right, so yeah, I bought some of the comic books. One of them was called Skies of Fire, and another one called Apocalypse Girl. And at some point, I'll get them onto the show to talk comics. But I was just very aware of the fact that there didn't seem it's Comic-Con, and there was very little investment in actual Comic-Con. And I know anime is big now. Anime and manga is massive, but there was just a room that was like, here's a Tokyo Pop room. And it was basically these people selling like fast food. Bandai were there, I think.
There was all Pop Funko stuff everywhere.
Yeah, and I'm just like, I don't know. If you had a Comic Con of your own, yeah, what would you do? Is my question to people. For me, I'd have, like I said, I'd have rides there. I'd have, why they don't play with VR anymore? They're massive halls empty. And I'm sure they could have put VR in and had people playing like Team
The
Fortress.
last time we went, there was one hall, and that was just food, and beer, as well as the stuff in the middle. And then every hall had something different inside it.
Yeah, and this place,
They even shut the Star Wars Celebration one. They even had like cars and stuff from like Scooby Doo, Batman, and all that.
Yeah, I remember seeing the Ghostbusters guy. Yeah, like even Ghostbusters has just announced they're doing stuff. I get, unless the streaming service, I guess it might be the way streaming services are operating now, in that they're being really greedy about their stuff and they don't want to put anything out until they announce it. Because I just had an announcement that would have been perfect for Comic Con this week, which we'll talk about during the show, to do with Ghostbusters. I'm very like, what is going on here with the organizers of Comic Con? And I've put a question to you. Fair enough, they did do a little bit more in terms of like toilets weren't an issue, unless you were female.
That's everywhere. That's nightclubs and bars.
Well, they should have put Portaloos out for the ladies. Again, there's loads of women coming to Comic Con now. All right, clearly there's not enough female toilets. This place wasn't built that long ago. How does that even happen? Do you know what I mean? Like they charging so much money for these events now as well. And they're not giving people who go there anything. Nothing about that. And I don't want to hate on it too much because I was with the boys. I had a relatively good time, even though I couldn't drink. And I was just like, I was just really, I don't know, I felt a bit hurt. They could have done so much more. They could have had so much more events or more activities going on.
That's what I mean. There was no activities going on. That was the worst thing.
Yeah, and a lot of people put a lot of effort into their costumes. A lot of people.
I suppose there was one stage where they were doing like lightsaber training.
I'll be intrigued. When's the next Comic Con? Is that in October or is it August?
There's one coming up soon.
Because I think I'll be intriguing to go to the next one to see what that's like. It may just be because it's early in the year. The weather hadn't been too great.
Boiling hot.
No, it was boiling hot then, but up until then it hadn't been particularly great, and people may have gone, "Oh, I don't want to risk it." COVID may have played a part.
No, but there was lots of people there. You couldn't move at one stage.
Yeah, I'd really question anywhere that can attract that amount of people and not put on a good show. I don't know. In my head, I've got Vegas. Do you know what I mean? Got lights. I've got attractions. I've got, like I said, the VR. The gaming I know it's not games.
Yeah, I mean, they even had like a Bob's Burger van there, but they weren't even selling burgers out of it. Like, come on, you got a burger van, just sell burgers out of it. Why advertise Bob's Burgers and not do nothing with that van?
Yeah, why not just have? And I don't know how families ended up walking around there because it's a lot of walking, and like I said, it was very expensive. It was not cheap, and I don't know. I just question it. And also, if you never open up a business that's got salad in the name, even if you're selling salad, don't open up a business that's got salad. Why do people insist on doing that? Nobody likes salad, right? They love salad, but nobody likes salad. So when you open up a business and it's like salad, that's the only way I managed to get anything to eat or drink. So I went to the salad. What was it? The Salad Shack, or whatever it was called.
I had to have a kebab for breakfast and food was so bad.
What was your take?
I had to have a kebab for breakfast. It was a kebab or a burger. That's all you had the choice of.
What would you do to improve it though, Dave? I know I'm going on, but would you, because I've got lofty, like I would nerd the place out big time.
You just got to do events and do stuff for people. Entertain people. There was no entertainment. There weren't even like people walking around like laughing and joking like jesters and stuff. Just entertain people. It was a big it was like going through a market.
Yeah. I really
you was literally just going backwards and forwards. It was like comic book shops and funk pop
and
stuff,
they charged,
and that was it really.
I don't know how much Forbidden Planet were paying to be there, but the artists, I'm really sorry, but comic book artists shouldn't be charged 100 quid for a table unless you're a big company. If you're just somebody who loves drawing comic books, why are you having being charged 100 quid for a table space? I personally think that's nuts. It should be.
Yeah, but 100 quid's nothing really. It's only 10 signatures.
I know, but like, if you think about it, if you sell comic books, right, you're lucky if you break 100 quid on an issue. Like, unless you're on a big studio like Marvel or DC, you're lucky if you do that. And I just think it's not good for the industry if it's all about how much money the organizers can make out of Comic-Con. Because don't get me wrong, they spent a lot of money. They had a lot of security there, and there was a lot of barriers there, you know. And I know that doesn't cost nothing.
Z-list celebrities.
Don't be mean. Wrestlers aren't Z-listers, man.
Mate, I didn't even know there was like a signing area because it was all blocked off with like a rat run sort of thing. So you had to look at a sign to go talk to them.
Yeah.
Like main stage, or you look at the American one. There's a main stage where everyone stands and has a chat.
Well, should we go to the film and TV one next and see what that was like? Because we didn't make it. Well, and I had a good. The last time I went to the small TV one at Olympia, I had a really good time there.
Yeah, but you look at the cast on that; it was a lot of big people from like Doctor Who and stuff.
Yeah,
where this had nothing.
Well, yeah, which is again, I don't know what the problem was. I don't know whether it was. It can't be COVID because other ones had more names in it. So something's going wrong up in Exo. I don't know if it's MCN charging too much money, which I guess I'm thinking it is. I don't know whether
they're not paying the money to the artist a bit.
Yeah, because it just for such a big venue.
Or are they taking 50% of every signature?
But no, I think they're just charging.
And they're saying, "Well, I ain't doing that."
Who knows? I really don't know, but I do think they need to rethink how they're organising their business model because it was very disappointing. But anyway, I don't want to carry on a show being angry about what they've done because we've got other news to talk about, haven't we? We've got loads of reviews. We've got diabolical stuff coming up for you. First up, Prime has announced.
Is that your boy's
situation? Diabolical. There's a new show for the nerds coming out soon, Paper Girls, which is based on a comic book, if my memory serves me right. And it's stories about time traveling, and I think aliens and stuff in there. Don't quote me, I've never read it. But that's been produced by Amazon. There's been a lot of comic book products that have been produced recently, hardly any of them been hits, and have damaged Netflix's reputation. To a degree, because Netflix done a lot of comic book adaptations that didn't work. Jupiter's Legacy being the most recent, and I know people nobody watched Super Crooks, but they had a huge success with what was the one with the kid with the antlers? Sweet Tooth, which is really, really good. Sweet Tooth is absolutely brilliant. And
Comic-Con was full of what's that feature, Marcane? That was quite popular.
Yes, the replacement for Harley. Good, because this is the thing, right? There's an entire industry of women who cosplay, but some of them do it because they love it. Some of them do it because they love it, and there's lots of money to be made. Some of them do it because there's lots of perverts out there. And I have no doubt that Jinx is very popular with the Pornhub.
Everyone would. I would say 80% of the girls were just as Jinx.
A great way to get a date, and that doesn't mean you should sexually harass anybody at Comic-Con, by the way. I could think of nothing worse than being harassed. I'd say Comic-Con was better than gaming conventions, because at least the nerds put some effort into, like, you know, they sprayed up before they came out. But do take a foldable chair. If you can take anything, take a foldable chair with you to Comic-Con, because there's nowhere to sit. Like, there are nerds. Like, I reckon there's people who go in packs, right? And they'll just grab a table early on. And then one person has to stay at the table. Yeah, one person has to stay at the table. Because there were people there all day. I'm like, how? If nobody, why? So take a foldable chair with you. One of those picnic, those camping chairs with you, because by God, you'll need it. Because there's a lot of walking to be done, and it is tiring if you have nowhere to sit at any point. And we were there, what, 6 hours?
Yeah, it must be about that.
we were there about 6 hours, and not once did we sit down while we were there, and that was tough for me.
Yeah,
anyway.
we sat down and had a beer.
I didn't.
I know we didn't have a seat. We had a table with no seats.
I did manage to sit down once when I was listening to the writer going about her books, which was really cool. Now, so yeah, Paper Girls is coming out. It's by it was written by Mr. Vaughan, who also wrote The Last Man, which was although a critical flop. It flopped hard on Hulu and Disney Plus last year.
Was it a flop though?
Yeah, I think it didn't get good.
Because I know a lot of people have watched it and they said, "Oh yeah, it was really good." I enjoyed it.
Yeah, but Dave, look, Dave. I know you think I don't appreciate your television habits and your taste, but let me tell you one of a few things. You're a good human being, right? You'll watch something, and as much as I may disagree with you about something, you'll give your full and fair view, right? The second they heard about a world filled with women, that was it. A lot of nerds turned on that shit before that stuff got like aimed and fired at. They were like, "No, it's so woke." So it suffered from
but
that.
what a lucky guy, eh? Well, he should have been a lucky guy. But
you'd think so. You'd think so. But when you read the book, it doesn't quite work out the way one would plan it. But yeah, so that happened. So that's coming. So that new series will follow Erin, Mac, KJ, and Tiffany, 4 12-year-old newspaper delivery girls from the fictional suburb of Stony Stream, Ohio, who find themselves in the middle of a war between 2 opposing factions of time travelers. We should be getting a trailer soon, but that's coming to Amazon Prime. And I think the cast clearly look like they're not 12 anymore. I think it's going to be more in the realm of Stranger Things with an adult touch. So it won't be as far as I remember. It's not a kid's story.
It's not going to be Stargirl-esque.
No, it'll be maybe a bit more mature than I'm hoping than Stargirl-esque, because that got bad season 2. Right. So where else are we? There's a new computer game coming from Marvel. It's a card-based game. If you ever played the computer game XCOM, it's called Marvel's Midnight Suns. Now, I remember reading the comic book Midnight Suns, and the Midnight Suns, when I read the comic book, were the Ghost Rider. Ghost Rider, Blade.
All the people that come out at night.
Yeah, Morbius. The Vampire. And a few other characters like that. Now, while that was what I remember, this Midnight Sun, it's slightly different. It's got Scarlet Witch, Spider-Man, Iron Man, Black Widow, Ghost Rider, and maybe, I don't think Punisher, isn't it? But it's card-based. It looks like it's about a demonic takeover of the Marvel Universe. It's on my list of possible games, but the trailer has dropped online, so please do check that out. Do you ever fancy a more demonic version of the Marvel Universe, Dave? Were you a fan of Ghost Rider, Spirit of Vengeance? You can be honest.
The Nicolas Cage one was all right. And the guy that played Ghost Rider in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was pretty good. But that's about it, really. I remember reading a couple of comics when I was younger, and I just didn't get into them.
I was in it for a bit. I didn't get too deeply in it. I think it appealed to me, but it was... I don't think I was into the art style, which is good, but just
so with Ghost Rider, it could have been a good cartoon, I think.
You just can't do it for the kids. It's like,
no, but like cartoon based, you think that
animated,
like a cool cartoon more than a TV show or a film?
Yeah, animated wise, I think it would work if they did in the style of like Castlevania or whatever. It might work like that, but definitely not a kids show. Hey, here's your friendly Ghost Rider. Let's take your ass to hell. All right, in other news, something else coming down the pipeline, the Thunderbolts. Now, the Thunderbolts is the greatest trick the Marvel universe, comic book universe, ever played on its readers. And it's the only time I think I remember a story coming out that until the last page, nobody figured out what was going on. Unfortunately, it won't work for the MCU because now everybody knows. But the Thunderbolts are basically a collection of new heroes that came out of nowhere. But it turns out that they were all supervillains. And they were like, so you had Citizen V, who's, I forgot his name. The guy who was in Captain America and Falcon. Baron,
The Red Skull.
No, it was not the Red Skull. I think it's Baron Zemo.
Oh, the one in the Baron Zemo, the one in the purple head.
Yeah, so Baron Zemo actually plays a superhero called Citizen 5. It's either Citizen V or Citizen 5. And he leads this team, and they're all actually supervillains. So they think they're going to do a version of that for the MCU, and it's going to be
so they're all con men. Is that what you said?
Zemo. They start out as con men, but some of them actually do become heroes. So you've got the original team was Giant Man, or Atlas, as he was called. Who else was it? Let me get it up. Things I forget.
Bad homework that is, mate.
Don't be hard on me, man. This is a lot of information to gather. We've got so many stories.
This is your story. You should do your homework.
So many stories for you. But yeah, it came out during the 90s. I think it was the 90s, and the original roster was Marvel's Most Wanted. So Atlas, the Black Beetle. They were so essentially it was the Masters of Evil in disguise, and they essentially came out and they became superheroes. In the end, they do become heroes, and
they wear masks like in Scooby-Doo.
Yeah. So nobody knew who they were until the very last bit of the very last.
Issue. Baron Zemo all the time.
They did go through a lot of changes, but and it was a really successful comic book for a while. And so that's going to be the film, but I think the film's going to take a slightly different tack, and you're going to end up with the new Black Widow, the new Captain America that they've got, US agent, Baron Zemo will be part of it, and then you might have like Winter Soldier might pop up and Hawkeye, but we'll see. I ain't putting no money on it, but that's going to be their next big team.
Hawkeye's done, isn't he?
No, he'll be back. They're not going to get.
You're going to have the female Hawkeye.
Yeah, no, you'll have both of them in action. And also, one thing you should also remember is that the whole point of me mentioning the story is they've landed the director, so it's going to be going into production, I think, in the next year or so. I would say that's going to be the next big Marvel event, and then new sort of Avengers. So that should be exciting. Are you looking? Does that excite you at all, Dave? Thunderbolts? Because it was meant to be. What's the name?
I'll wait as usual because I've been disappointed quite a lot lately.
Oh god, we'll get to that. Right, other good trailers. I'm just going to go through a few really cool trailers that have dropped. Prey, the new trailer for the Predator movie, which I think is a really, really good idea. If they hit the landing on this, be amazing. So it's set in the I think the 1800s. Comanche Indians will encounter the Predator, and it's about how they either defeat or do not defeat the Predator. Now, it was filmed in English, but apparently they're going to be releasing a version with the full Comanche language in it as well, which I think they should have filmed it in Comanche, because I know it's very art house, a bit potty, it's so nice to see it in the Comanche language, but I think that would make such a cool film if they hit landing on this. And it's a great way for Predator to go and not make the mistakes other franchises, let's say like Terminator, have made, and trying to repeat the original success and doing something different, because only one other film franchise I think has done that successfully, Planet of the Apes. Because if you look at the new Planet of the Apes, do you remember the Tim Burton Planet of the Apes, which everybody...
It depends what Planet of the Apes you're saying. The
Tim Burton one. Yeah, the new ones. They managed to
Not the Mark Wahlberg ones.
No, the Mark Wahlberg one. That was the one. That was the one Tim Burton done, because he tried to repeat a lot of the elements of the original, whereas this one sort of told a very different story from the point of view of Caesar, and told a very different story in its own way. And I think
CGI though.
It was, but I think it worked a lot better than Tim Burton's one did.
No, it was good. It was good. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, and it was a massive hit, and it finished the trilogy. So I think it worked. I didn't like the end of the trilogy because it didn't work out well for the humans at all. But I think as a product, they took a very a franchise that had been successful in its first film, that got made the hell out of with people trying to repeat that fire in a pan, and they did something different, which Terminators failed to do again and again. And I think this is where this has been really, really quite good. So I'm definitely looking forward to this Prey. It's coming straight to Disney Plus. It's not going to be released in the cinema, but I'm definitely looking forward to that.
Did they say when that's coming out though?
I think it's coming out next month.
Right, that's quite soon.
Yeah, it's coming out very, very soon. They dropped a trailer for it last week. And the trailer's quite good. And I hope they hit the landing on this. The
last Predator film was pretty good. So
it was, but again, it wasn't. It was like Terminator 3. It wasn't the worst thing you'd ever seen, but it could have been.
No, but when you had Alien versus Predator, that was terrible.
Yeah,
you're thinking they put two franchises together,
and then make something better. But they're two totally different franchises. Predator, for all you say about it, is very much a sort of slasher horror. And Aliens.
Well, the first two films were really good.
Yeah, Alien films, you don't beat aliens, you just survive. you just survive. Yeah. So I thought that was quite interesting that they went for another reboot on that. I've heard rumor there's going to be an Alien reboot. I think Terminator just needs to die. We don't need any more Terminator films. It's a stupid idea. It doesn't work. Terminator 2 is just a good film.
The first one was a good film.
The second one was too.
The first two were good. The first two were good.
Yeah. But they're two very different films.
It's just a story, isn't it? It's like.
Well, it's the type of film you can't. It's a horror film, and you can't think too much about it. And this has been, and we'll talk about it a lot later in the podcast because I know we'll get bogged down with this. Sci-fi shouldn't be treated like a religion, and when you do treat it like a religion, you end up with franchises like Terminator, which you can't think too deeply about Terminator.
Well, I think people just with Terminator, people just thought, Terminator, Arnie, he's not done a film for ages. Let's pump out another one. People will watch it because he's in it.
Yeah,
Instead of let's make a great film.
Yeah, but again, but nobody sets out to make a bad movie. I think. Well, I hope not. But the problem with Terminator is none of it. They try to create this lore about it, but at the core, it makes no sense. It makes no sense at all. So this computer becomes sentient, right? And decides the first thing it's going to do is whack anybody it considers an enemy, which is the whole of humanity, right? It's a computer, right? It has limited ability to build and construct. Somehow, it goes from being a weapons defense system to a computer that can build robots, that can time travel, that decides the best option to make sure it survives is to whack humanity, like a leader from. And I'm like, it makes no sense. And that's the problem with these films. They keep trying to make them make sense, but it makes no sense. Did you watch the last Terminator? The last two Terminator films? Did you watch them?
The last one was when he had a child, didn't it? Where he had an adopted child.
Yeah. Did you? He adopts the original character from the first film.
Yeah. No, John Connor's dead, and they're trying to save someone else now, aren't they?
I can't remember. It just got the Terminator is now a black, oily things that are more like Venom. And they're like, yeah, we got Linda Hamilton back and Arnie, and it's like, yeah, it's the first time we get everybody back. I was like, Arnie's been in every single Terminator film.
He wasn't in one of them.
No, he's in all of them. In some form or the other, he's in all of them. I know you're thinking.
I don't think he was in the Christian Bale one.
He is. He's in at the end. They do this whole scene. It's all CGI.
It's all CGI. I was going to say, it must be all CGI.
Yeah, but it's the original Arnie Terminator comes out and they fight. And I'm just like, this is the problem why I think people aren't enjoying Star Wars and all these other franchises at the moment. They just keep trying to create a lore about them and it doesn't make any sense. You shouldn't be trying to continue this Terminator franchise. You reboot it. In the 80s, people were perfectly happy to look at films and not question them. Yeah, I was perfectly happy to go to cinema and go, that makes sense. People can't do that now. And that's the problem with the films like Terminator. The idea that a robot from the future would come to the past and it could only get there. It had this amazing rule that made no sense, that things that were mechanical couldn't time travel. But if you cover it in human flesh, it's cool. That makes no sense whatsoever, right? And that's the problem. Audiences aren't they're a bit more informed, especially young people. And there's no point in there's absolutely no point in trying to continue these 80s franchises. Reboot it.
Everyone has the cybernet now, so
yeah, everybody knows that a robot.
Back then there was no internet, no gadgets, no nothing, and now everyone's got all that stuff.
And I say this cynically about robots and Terminator and the law behind it, with the announcement that came yesterday that they made they grew skin around a mechanical finger.
Oh, I saw that.
Yeah, I don't know why anybody would want to grow skin around a mechanical finger, but they've managed to do that.
To make androids.
No, I just reckon it was another useless billionaire that probably wants to do that. He wants to create Westworld, and it's like you do.
What's his own sex
yeah. Well, that's it. I guarantee you, most scientific achievements now, like porn is driving everything now. HD porn took it up first. DVD porn took it up first. The internet, most of the secure banking systems we have, porn. Develop those. So yeah, I think it is what it is. But there you go. Right, where was I? Halo Infinite, a game which I will get back to at some point, is finally launching its co-op option, which didn't launch when the game was released, but is being relaunched over the next month, I believe. It's doing in beta testing. Yeah. I don't know if that's actually news for anybody. I think, as the article says, it's maybe a bit too little, too late to save that game. But I will give it a shot when it finally goes co-op, if I can find anybody to play with me. But there you go.
I've got Game Pass now for 3 months.
Yeah, well, we'll hit up some Halo and see if we can.
£1 for 3 months. I thought I'd have a go.
Yeah, I've done that as well, but
no decent games on there. But hey,
there is.
Terrible.
I
was
think
looking
at
it
the
other day
moment
and I
there
was like,
isn't
other
the
people
only
spend
worth
£11 a month for this rubbish.
The only thing that will make Game Pass worth it is if you stop buying games. Like, that's the only, if you stop buying games and you just get Game Pass, because there's no point in having Game Pass to buy
good games, really. They're all
not yet. I think now.
Yeah, but this has been out for 5 or 6 years.
No. But you got to remember, at the moment we're in that lull stage with Xbox and Sony, where they're not releasing any. They haven't got enough games for their new console, and they're not releasing any games for their new console till the end of the year. And I think that's going to be
having a console that's been out for 3 years.
Because they've got to start shifting them, innit?
You can't shift them. No, get hold of the fucking things.
No, apparently
that's the end of the matter, isn't it? If people can't buy something, then they're not going to buy it. So stop deleting the old console games, because people still have them because they can't get the new ones.
Well, no, Dave, I'm totally with you.
They're way too expensive for what they are. It's like buying a new mobile phone.
They're way too expensive. Xbox, thankfully, have started doing a thing where you can buy. I think it's interest free. You can do $20.99 a month.
Yeah, but it's still ridiculous for what it is.
Well, no, I don't think the price is wrong. I think
you could buy a state-of-the-art TV now for £400, you know?
Not anymore.
Not a computer game. You can. I was looking the other day.
Because if you heard, the Xboxes now, the PlayStation and Xboxes now have, like, they've upgraded the level of TV technology now.
Yeah, but it's just ridiculous. Don't release something if you cannot back it up.
Look, Dave, I'm with you. I'm surprised they.
And eventually, TV's going to take over for what the console is, and then they're going to have to release another console.
Well, no, because that's what. There was another announcement. I haven't got the story here, but Xbox are now going big into the cloud gaming. So all the new Samsung TVs will have Xbox cloud gaming. So you don't need a console, and you can just play it. As long as you've got a good internet.
And how much memory is this TV going to have?
No, because it's streaming. I don't know. It's going to be huge.
You know?
It's going to be massive. It's more about how good your broadband.
It's just going to be just as another Big Brother watching you sort of thing.
No, I'm not conspiratorial. I'm not saying that this government has. I don't want to get political, Dave. This is the wrong show. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Boys on Bossk. Yes, stick with us because it's still happening here. Right, where were we? New Mutants. The New Mutants of the X-Men franchise is turning 40, which I'm shocked by, because that means I was, about 2 years old when the New Mutants came about.
How old?
Stars.
How old do you think you are?
Anyway, so the New Mutants is coming out. It's hitting their 40th anniversary. One of the co-creators, Bob McCloud, is writing some stories for it. Rob Liefeld, probably one of the most famous artists for his big shoulders, is coming back to do cover. And I just thought of that because I recently bought a comic book for Rick and Morty, who've been has a homage to the New Mutants, issue number 87 on its front cover. New Mutants was one of my favorite comic books for a short while when Rob Liefeld started writing for them and turned them into like introduced Cable. Which you know Cable? Yeah, Cable from Deadpool.
Yeah, he lives around the corner from us.
And then so yeah, that's a 40th anniversary. Certainly one of my favorite comic books, certainly one of my favorite worst films made by Fox. Actually, it was the New Mutants film where they literally just that was bad.
Was that the one with the girl from Game of Thrones in it?
Yeah, she was probably the only good bit about that film. She got the memo. Everybody else in that film was just like there's this one scene that's so bad it hurt my feelings. Like one of the kids sees
that's the one that was a Fox film when it came out on Warner Brothers, isn't it?
Yeah, but yeah, they'd already made a deal. It's on HBO at the moment, I think, because they already made a deal to with HBO before it got bought by Marvel, and it got reshot so many times. I think it was released 3 years after it was made, because of a mixture of COVID. Yeah, because of a mixture of COVID and all the rest of it. But that got released like 3 years after it was filmed.
Well, take your camera off.
Because I'm doing something I don't want everybody to see, Dave. That's why.
Are you digging at your nose?
Why did you miss my face? It's back. Booyah!
We should dig at your boobies.
No, not so. And so yeah, New Mutants 40 years. Let us know your memories of the mighty New Mutants if you've got any of them. And yeah, hopefully we'll see some. I'll be buying that issue, hopefully, if I can afford it by the time it comes out. But yes, that's happening this year. Neve Campbell has announced that she is not returning for Scream 6, apparently because they would not pay her enough. I'm surprised by this because, again, I watched the last Scream film. I watched the last Scream film. I quite enjoyed it. It wasn't great. But Neve Campbell was one of the highlights. And again, I'm surprised they're not paying her money to come back because I know they think they've got a younger audience for it, but I'm like, get her in there, man. Have a go in style. But apparently she's not coming back. Were you a Scream fan at all? Were you a Neve Campbell fan? That's all, Dave.
Really? She's an attractive lady, but that's about it. She wasn't like the best actress in the world, was she?
Well, that's a bit harsh.
Well, she would. What's she famous for? Party of Five and Scream. You know?
Playing from Francois
I think she was famous originally for Scream, but she did a lot of stuff. Party of Five, I think, was what she was.
That's what I said. She was only famous for Party of Five and Scream.
She was in more.
She was a 90s actress that people, I don't know.
Oh, House of Cards.
She'd done that film with what's her face as well, didn't she? And Matt Dillon.
She's done a lot of stuff. Wild Things.
That's the one I was on about, Wild Things.
Kung Fu. The Legend Continues.
No, I don't really care about her that much.
That's fair enough. I'm not going to hold you to it. Lion King 2, Simba's Pride.
Oh, yeah. Because that was a great film, wasn't
it? Lest we forget The Craft. She was in The Craft, wasn't she? Yeah.
Yeah, she was one of the girls in The Craft.
Yeah. All right, fair enough. Right, big announcement time. This week is Geeked Week. We've been dropping as much news as we can. There's been so many trailers, but lest I forget, the biggest news I heard this week, for me anyway, is the announcement of if there's something strange in the neighborhood, who are you going to call?
Egon, Ray, and Winston.
Yes, Ghostbusters is making not only a return film-wise, because they've announced another movie set in the Afterlife storyline, but they've also announced a TV series.
It's going to be a cartoon.
No, it's going to be a series.
It's going to be a cartoon. They announced it yesterday. It's going to be a cartoon on Netflix.
Did they? Because I've got them filming here as the trailer.
Maybe they're doing a cartoon as well as a TV show.
So
here we go. It's going to be really bad because one of them's going to be crap.
Or both of them.
Yeah. So why would you do a cartoon, a TV series, and a new film?
Well, I think Netflix is putting the money out there. Like, well, do you know what?
I don't get that.
I think they've just gone. We need the. Let me see.
Yeah, the story's dead already, Curtis.
No, I'm just trying to find out what the
films weren't that good in the first place.
Animated.
So,
which films weren't?
The second one was terrible.
Well, yeah, but like again,
Lady Ghostbusters was extremely terrible.
I enjoyed it.
It was rubbish.
I enjoyed it a lot. It wasn't late.
Why? Because it's just a fake comedy.
No, I think it had no. I think it had some good moments in there. I don't think it was as good as I wanted it to be. But yeah, I definitely enjoyed it, and I'll give him credit for at least trying something different. And I think it was what's his name as well, old Thor.
The only good thing about it was Thor. He was the only good character in that.
No, I think what's the name? The one who was being like the crazy.
I don't like that Australian comedian. I don't like her. She annoys me.
I know, but I do. It's not about what you like, Dave.
It is about what I like. She's annoying. She's got a squeaky voice. It's annoying.
But yeah, I think that it'll be interesting to see what happens with Ghostbusters. I'm certainly not impartial to them doing stuff with it. I've always felt it could have been a better franchise. But again, I hope they don't make the mistake that Terminator done and just whipping a dead horse.
They are, aren't they? The last film wasn't too bad, but that's how it should finish.
That's it. No more.
They all got together. Egon was a ghost in the middle of them, and that was how it should be.
Yeah, but David, there's something strange in your neighbourhood. Who are you going to call?
The police.
Right, another trailer that drops, Black Adam, and it was a really weird trailer. A lot of fans aren't liking it because it's got this really weird yellow tint to it that a lot of the DC films have had. And it's like, can we please stop with the yellow tint?
That's the thunderbolt in his chest, though, isn't it?
Yeah. No,
it's just a reflection of that.
It's just a whole picture. But the first shot, and I swear to you, I've got to put these up together. It looked like the trailer for Black Panther for a bit, and I don't know whether that was intentional or not, but it looks like
it reminded me of the Scorpion King, like the way they were dressed and all that sort of stuff. It's very Egyptian.
Sword and sandals to it. Yeah. It looks like quite a funny trailer. I think it suits it suits The Rock, because he pretty much does that like a god in every film he does now. He's been immortal in enough movies that it's like I think the audience now think he is.
You know, he's going to be a more again though, rowing that boat.
Yeah, because they're doing the sequel to it, aren't they?
Yeah.
But yeah, it looked good. I hope it's a better direction for the DC cinematic universe. They've got quite a few heroes in it. You've seen Atom Smasher makes an appearance, and so does Hawkman. I think there's a few other characters. I think there's one definitely called Tornado making an appearance. But the Justice Society of America and Dr. Fate, who's DC's version of Doctor Strange.
Is Shazam going to make an appearance?
Huh?
Shazam, is he going to make an appearance?
I would think at the end he'll make appearance because there was I think
they're linking to his new film.
Yeah, because I think very much so that Black Adam they appear in the comic book a lot and they are connected by powers, but we'll see. I'm so looking
the lightning bolt in their chest.
Well, they get the power from the same place, the Wizard Shazam. But I think Black Adam's powers are slightly different. He's an Egyptian god. But we'll see as it plays out during the film. But it'll be interesting to watch. I don't know. Did you watch the trailer?
Yeah, I watched it.
What did you looking for? Excited?
I try not to get excited with this sort of stuff anymore because
you're allowed to let you know.
It's always a big disappointment now. It's all overhyped CGI. They just need to go back to 35mm film and then make it proper.
Listen to him, studios. I don't disagree with you there. I think
everything's digital, and then you see mistakes where everything's so digital. you can see the mistakes.
Which almost spoiled the latest episode of Obi-Wan for me. But we'll get
it
to
completely
that.
spoiled the latest episode of Obi-Wan Kenobi.
There's a really cool film that takes a leaf out of Spider into the Spider-Verse, Spider-Man that we've had, and it's called Intergalactic. Now, it's Intergalactic, I think, if my memory serves right, is based on a album coming out by Kid Cudi. I'm not gonna lie and go, I know who Kid Cudi is. Don't know, but apparently this animated series coming out based on this album. I've seen the trailer for it. It reminds me of Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, but it looks and sounds amazing. Like, it looks really, really good. I don't know how much money Netflix threw at this, but it could be one of the most expensive animated adverts I've certainly ever seen, and it's worth checking out. It's already had 129,000 views on YouTube as of yesterday. So, and that was part of their Geeks, but I'd say check it out. It looks absolutely amazing. But that trailer dropped yesterday as well. The Grey Man, starring Ryan Gosling and Chris Evans, has dropped. It looks like a spy versus spy thing, but it's got Chris Evans with the worst tash ever, and he plays to that tash. But I
like Chris Evans, but I think Ryan Gosling is the most boringest, drippiest actor there is. He is so dry.
Well, he's not going to get any.
I will not be watching this. Trust me.
I will. It looks like a fantastically fun action film, to be quite honest. And I don't. The few good action films, the
guy's just boring as hell.
Dave does not like Ryan Gosling. He's like kryptonite to him, and that's fair enough. But
he's below everyone else. I heard he's the lowest.
He's like kryptonite to Dave. But I'm definitely looking forward to it. I like.
He's only done one decent film, and that was Driver.
Oh, I liked him in Spider-Man. When he went up to get
Ryan Gosling was in Spider-Man.
It wasn't, was it?
No.
What was Ryan Gosling in then?
Into the Pines, or wherever it is. He does all these weird B movies.
Is that romantic movies? Is that why you hate him?
They're just boring. It's a boring actor.
Why do you hate him for? There's no hate, Dave.
Boring actor.
You mean you find his films boring?
I find him boring.
Why is there so much? Blade Runner didn't like that.
That was terrible, and you know that was a
La
terrible
La
film.
Land.
Oh, who'd want to watch that musical? Oh, you're a musical boy.
The Nice Guys. Was he in The Nice Guys?
I think he was also in that bloody rubbish film with Leonardo DiCaprio.
Well, fair enough. Well, that's out soon. That's another Netflix one. Dave don't like it already, but I'm not going
to watch it.
Another film coming out is Day Shift, which is going to be what?
Is that the one with the ambulance drivers?
No, Day Shift is going to be the vampire hunting Jamie Foxx. I think director, the guys that did John Wick are now doing a Jamie Foxx vampire hunter film called Day Shift, and Jamie Foxx is pretty. I don't know what sort of deal he's got.
Jamie Foxx is gonna be Blade. Is that what they're saying?
He's gonna be
that's why it's called Day Shift.
But he's very non-Blade. Like, he walks around with a Hawaiian t-shirt on,
so
and a shotgun. No, I'd go as far as saying he's more like a common. No, there's no Daywalker about him. Like, that's too big a gun for a Daywalker. There's no blades. He looks very methodical about the job.
You can't kill vampires during the day. That's the whole point of vampires. They come out at night.
No. You see, that's not true, right? If you read the original Dracula, it's not that they can't come out to the day. And please don't not that. What was that awful film? Twilight. It's not that they can't come out.
They glow. Is that what happens? They glow in the sunlight.
No, they don't glow. They're weaker during the day, so they've got less power, but they can come out in the daylight. The whole thing about them burning up in sunlight, they'll burn up in direct sunlight, but they cannot come out during the day. It's got to cover up. But it's not just Jamie Foxx in it. Snoop Doggy Dogg. And I'm sorry.
Oh God, this is gonna be terrible, isn't it?
I don't care. Any film with Snoop Doggy Dogg will get my love, even if it's rubbish. Because Snoop, it's like he's a version of Samuel.
How many takes did it actually take for them to do anything?
Oh, I've seen some shots in the background, and he looks really cool. He's actually, he looks taller than Jamie, and he's
well, he is. He's like
cowboy
6'7".
No, trust me, Dave. Watch the trailer. I'm not. I don't think I'm shitting you right now, but it just looks like a really cool action.
Did Snoop Dogg do a vampire film years ago? If I remember right. He was like a vampire pimp.
Maybe, but in this one, it looks really, really good. It looks like they put the money and the time behind this. But yeah, I'd say that's on my list of things worth watching. And then a quick one you've got, I'll leave that one out. Troll, watched it. It's a very short trailer. Check it out. It looks like it reminded me of a film called Troll Hunters, and it looks like that. It looks like it's set in Iceland, but I don't want to go into that too much because the trailer's really short. But that dropped during Geek. The biggest announcement and the last of the Geeked announcements that I'll talk about today is The Sandman, which again I've read the comic book. Superb. I don't know if everybody's going to like it, but it's a superb story. It's by Neil Gaiman, who done American Gods, and the up-and-coming film Anansi Boys. Check out the trailer. It looks really good. It was written 30 years ago. It's always been popular as a graphic novel. Check it out. It looks really, really good. And I'm not going to say whether Dave's going to like it. I don't know. Only Dave can tell us this. But I will say that it's on my list of things that it cannot fail.
Has he had like 2 failures already?
Who, Neil Gaiman?
Yeah.
No, I don't think he's done that.
Didn't he do the Jupiter thing?
No, that was what's his name? The guy who did Kick-Ass. That was his shit. Neil Gaiman would never. I'd love that. That'd be absolutely amazing if that was Neil Gaiman. But no, I think the closest Neil Gaiman's a lot more. He's a lot more like Tim Burton in terms of his writing. He's a lot less.
I love Tim Burton. I think Tim Burton's one.
Yeah, then if you like Tim Burton, you'll probably like Sandman very easily because it's got that sort of ethereal, ghostly, if you will, spookiness to it. But check that out. That was announced that they dropped a trailer for it this week. It looks amazing. The cast is amazing. The production values, and I think it's I think Netflix really put the money behind this. But unlike a lot of their productions, it wasn't just we're going to give the stars a lot of money. It was like they put the money into the production, and it looks like it. So that's looking really.
Have they put it into the script?
The script, the story alone, alone, is already perfect.
Yeah, but the story might be good, but is the script good?
Yeah, I reckon it will be because they just have to adapt it.
That's what you got to think of, you know.
They just have to adapt it from the comic book, and I know Neil Gaiman's closely involved. And wait until you meet the Corinthian. That character just totally blew me out of the water and scared the shit out of me for a couple of hours. So I think you'll be taking it. If you liked American Gods, you'll like this.
Oh God,
easily. Right,
American
so
Gods was a weird one.
That was Neil Gaiman, and right.
First season was good. Second season was terrible.
I know because it got a bit too convoluted in the second season.
Oh, and I stopped watching after the first episode.
Right, so moving on to the reviews from the screen to the couch, ladies and gentlemen. This is the latest edition of Boys with Boss reviews from the screen to the couch. Welcome. Right, so what should we talk about?
From the screen to the couch, or was it from the couch to the screen?
No, from the couch, from the screen to the couch.
Because we've done we've watched it from the couch.
Well, yeah, you could theoretically go to the screen again, but not if you're listening to the audio.
Okay. What do you want to do first?
No, it's your choice, Dave.
What disappointment do you want to do first?
You got a choice of Stranger Things, Top Gun, The Boys, Obi-Wan, Ms. Marvel, Orville, or Interceptor. Which one?
Well, I haven't watched Orville and I haven't watched Interceptor.
Well, don't tell me what you haven't done. Tell me what you have done. Which one do you want to do?
I've done all the others.
Yeah, just give us one, Dave.
Okay, let's do Stranger Things first.
Okay, so first up is what season this is? Stranger Things. The fourth season of Stranger Things. There's another season to come.
Part 1.
It's already proved to be a massive hit on Netflix. Well, it always has been a massive hit. Its reviews have put it up it's got quite 8.7 on IMDb, 9 out of 10 on I think Metacritic. it's for me. I will come to me in a second. Dave, what do you think? How have you enjoyed the latest season of Strange Things?
I've only watched 3.5 episodes of it, so I've watched half the season.
Yeah.
It's more gory. I like that. I really like the goriness of it all. And
it reminds me of Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. It's more like Nightmare on Elm Street 3.
Yeah.
That sort of style. And yeah, I don't mind it. It's a bit rather long episodes.
Yeah.
They're over an hour. Every episode's over an hour. But yeah, it's been alright actually. It's like the kids seem too old for their parts now. Move it forward a bit. Because they're all like in their 20s now and they're still playing like 15-year-olds. It's a bit crazy.
Yeah.
But no, I'm actually enjoying this. Hopper's in Russia or somewhere like that. It's a bit weird why they're doing all that sort of business. That should not be in the story at all, I don't think. They got picked up by the Russians. He should just died. Well, that was it. That was the place to kill him off, wasn't it? You know?
I agree with you. I think the whole storyline with Hopper and then going to Russia, like you'll see in the show, but there's this whole arc.
It's like watching bloody Black Widow.
Yeah, the whole arc that works separately from from the Stranger Things main story. And the only reason I don't like it is it becomes so convoluted. Like the main story of Stranger Things is quite simple. Bad guy comes along. Bad guy's trying to hurt people in town. Kids have to figure a way to stop it with obstacles, right? That's what every season of Stranger Things is sort of overall. And that's not to diminish how good the stories have been. But then this Russia arc, it becomes more convoluted because their mission is to get Hopper back. And the more the story goes on, the more I'm like, my button was on fast forward every time it came up.
Well, it goes really slow, and it's like, come on, I want to get back to the main story. I want them to figure everything out, and it's like
it slows the story down.
They're in California, and then when they're in a different place, it's like
it slows the story down, and it sort of creates. I don't know how you felt, Dave, but it's sort of that storyline just done. Although it would be important in any other film, it didn't feel that important in this.
I like the story in the hometown because that's where it all started.
Yeah,
and it's still carrying on. But then you got them in California. She's lost her powers, and it's like they're all just getting bullied, and it's like
there was a touch of the Carrie about it as well, but they didn't do it in this. So it's going to be interesting whether they come back to it. Millie Bobby Brown's back.
Maybe if I watch the rest of it, it might add up a bit more.
I don't know. I liked it. I agree with everything you've said so far. Everything you've said, I agree with, and I've watched the whole thing. So, you know, I can't see anywhere where you've put your foot wrong there.
I think this definitely will be the last one. I think they've run out of ideas. I think that's what.
No, I think there's another part to come.
There's another part to come. But I think that's it after that.
I know I hear rumor of spin-offs being happening, but again, I don't want them to spoil it for.
See, that's another thing. It's just a money-making exercise, isn't it?
It is, but very good. Look, the one thing I will give them credit for is over the past 4 seasons, considering we haven't had a season for what 3-4 years now, they've done a really good job of keeping this going. And everybody seems to have a lot of love for it still. And I think they haven't made the mistakes that Game of Thrones made. They haven't made the mistakes that a lot of other series have made. They've just kept it going because they know what it is. But this season, I think they've made their first big mistake with the way they've done the David Harbour storyline, Hopper and Joyce Byers. For me, it's been the first big mistake because the story becomes really convoluted and really a bit. And I know in a story with demons and stuff, saying the word silly doesn't make much sense. But it really
you know what's going to happen. They're all going to go back to where they were before. And it's like...
Yeah, and it's just a bit silly. And it also takes the danger out of the story if with Hopper. Because that ending for Hopper would have been quite cool if he just died there. But now it's sort of... Remember, Byers isn't in a relationship with Hopper. Right, she's acting like a woman that loves Hopper. You can only do this stuff if you really love someone, right? Otherwise, you go to the FBI. And
you won't pay 40 grand just off the bat when you've got no money. Where did she get the money from? You know.
I think it would have been a lot more useful to have her in this, but that's just my point of view. It reminds me actually of the 70s sci-fi films a lot more than the 80s, if I'm quite honest. But overall, the cast in this, again, superb, except for Will Byers' haircut. I don't know who done that haircut to that boy, but they deserve to be shot. I don't care if it's the 80s or not, but that bowl haircut, Will, that's wrong. That's evil, right?
Did anyone actually have that haircut in the 80s? I never had that haircut.
There's no excuse. The only person that had that haircut was like Pee Wee Herman.
Or someone that was so poor that their mum cut the bowl around their head.
Yeah. I'm loving Millie Bobby Brown. Finn Wolfhard, who's playing her boyfriend, Mike Wheeler. Superb again. But my favourite one, surprisingly, is Gaten Matarazzo, who plays Dustin.
Dustin's always been my favourite.
He's grown so much as an actor. Yeah, he's grown so much as a character, and they don't do the.
He reminds me of a Goonie. That's what he reminds me of.
They easily could have just done fat kid jokes with him for his entire career, but they don't. They actually allowed him to grow as a character and as an actor. And I really, really appreciate the writers doing that. And he, for me, is one of the highlights of the show. Because in this, in this season so far, he's so sassy. And I love that about him so much.
I like the new pizza dude. He's one of my favourites.
Yeah.
The stoner Indian guy.
Lucas is pretty good. I'll get to him in a second, but Lucas is pretty good. The stoner guy, if I can get his name, I can't get his name. Let me get all the cast up. But no, I'm with you too. He's fantastic. And so's the Hellfire Club guy.
Oh yeah. He reminds me of a very young the guy that plays Iron Man, Robert Downey Jr.
I don't know what his name is.
But the way he acts, he reminds me of a very young Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah. No, do you know what? You're not far off there, and
he looks like him as well.
I think it works. I can't get the guy's name up. He's really, really good, and I've enjoyed his presence on this a lot as well. So overall, and also Mayor Hawk, Robin, who's in it all the time as well. I think the other one is who has a big storyline in this is Sadie Sink, who's Max, whose brother died in the last season. She gets a really, really good plot in this. And obviously she gets a moment which you haven't got to, Kate Bush's song, which is riding up the charts in the States, apparently given her first top 10.
#1 over here, isn't it?
That makes quite a, that in itself is its own character in this. So have you come up to that yet, Dave? Are you up to that yet?
Well, with Max. But she's been, because she's being hypnotized, isn't she? Because she's weak in the head. She's one of the weak ones. I mean, she's got a secret to tell.
So like I said, Matthew Modine obviously is in it as well as Martin Brenner. He makes an appearance. And we learn more about 11. All that stuff with 11, unlike the stuff in Russia, superb. And I'm really enjoying that.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like 3 stories in one. It's like you need to really stick to maybe 1 or 2.
And let's not forget before, because she's not in the list on the first drop up list in
who's that? His sister?
IBMD, but Lucas's sister, superb again. Like she's absolutely brilliant in this, and I don't know what actor school she went to.
I think it's because she's so rude.
She's got a future. Yeah, but she's not like little girl rude. You know, like it's sometimes in films. Like I'll notice it.
She reminds me of like the Big Mama. Don't talk down at me. That sort of style.
You know what I mean? But they gave her a sort of innocent sassiness. And it works really well in this. And it's not like, oh, she's black, so she's got to be rude. It's like she's his little sister, and she's also smart with what she knows.
No, she's like the rude mum.
Yeah, she works.
When you go to your friends' houses and they got their mums like, don't backchat me, motherfucker.
Well, like I said, there's moments with the parents in this as well. The parents get more of a role in this than they've ever had before, especially by the end of the season run. And it'll be interesting to see how that plays out in the next season. But for sure, I think out of all the things I've watched over the past couple of weeks, it's probably #1 in my list of shows over the past couple of weeks, and I love it. And I'll give it straight up. I think 10 out of 10. I'm going 10, full price. Dave, full price.
I'll wait till I finish the season.
Fair enough.
Season 2 comes out. The other part of the season comes out in July. So
the next one I'm going to choose then in that case is Obi-Wan. How
I think this is where we're going to fall out as friends.
No, not all. I'm all right with Obi-Wan. I'm enjoying Obi-Wan. I think it's got a lot of faults in it. I think it's got a lot of problems. But most of those aren't due to Obi-Wan and the show itself as a piece of entertainment. It's mostly due to the CGI.
The CGI is absolutely terrible. This is another one that should be go back to the original and be filmed on film.
The CGI at moments has been bad to the point.
Did you see the speeder in the latest episode?
The snow speeder, yeah.
That flew into the temple.
Yeah,
oh my god! How did they all fit in that little thing? It was like a cardboard box that came down.
No, that fitting into it. Well, for me, wasn't a problem.
It's a two-seater thing, the snow speeder.
No, but then they could have.
And then they could fit 4.
My issue with it was
it came down like a little square paper box.
It didn't look right. It wasn't.
It looked terrible.
Yeah, it didn't look right. It looked out of place.
It was like they put an old style model and just went, put the CGI in.
How do I put it? What it should have been is like that moment in a computer game where you've got the boss character in front of you. Reva stood there, it's shooting at her, and she's batting shots back at it. That should have looked awesome. That should have looked amazing.
I think the budget is terrible.
And it shouldn't be because, what people forget again.
Even the lightsaber fights, the lightsabers, they're like light rods. They're terrible.
But this is the thing: people forget this isn't the Marvel. Like they don't have the Marvel production values because.
No, but when you saw Ahsoka's lightsabers in The Mandalorian,
but
they look good.
It was easy.
You look at this; they look like plastic sticks with lights in.
Yeah, but it was easier to do that in Mandalorian because Mandalorian had a proper TV show budget. Mandalorian isn't made like a movie.
You've got the big movie actors in this one. Pay the budget.
Exactly, and
this is the one that everyone's been looking for, and it's been terrible.
But hold on. It hasn't been terrible. I'm not hating on it. I've been I've been enjoying it.
It's more about CGI. Oh, come on, Curtis. The Inquisitor died in Rebels, and this is meant to be all canon, and then he's still alive in this, and then gets stabbed like a pussy.
Well, no, he got stabbed by somebody who stood in front of him.
He was already dead in Rebels. He got blown up with Kanan.
No, this is set before Rebels.
No, it's not.
It is.
No, it's not.
It is. The timeline set 10 years before Rebels. Remember, Obi by the time they turn up. Dave. This is an argument you're gonna win, bro. No, I'm not lying. I'm not trying to whine. Dave, look at me. I'm not trying to whine.
Dead, then.
No, he's not dead. He's not dead.
And why is his head so big?
That's probably why he's pre-stabbing. But no, he's not dead. I swear to you, and it's still canon. He's not.
And he hasn't got sharp teeth.
No, again,
he's like tall and skinny, and then suddenly he's like little stubby fat man.
No, he's still stubby. He's still very tall. He was taller than Reva. He'll be back. He's just trust me on this.
I'm not liking it.
Vader's biding his time. No, it's fair enough. Look, I keep saying this to people. Yeah, I like Star Wars, right? I don't.
And why suddenly turn to a big fucking pussy?
Who?
Obi-Wan.
Because the connection to the Force isn't stable yet.
He's got no connection with anything at the moment, has he?
Well, he's getting there. Look.
All he did was like Darth Vader went to the dark side, and then suddenly I'll look after the boy. The boy's not even in the show. It's all about her.
Yeah, but that's the whole point of it. It's all about her. It's why she names her child Ben. Why am I the only one to pick up on this? She names her, what's Kylo's name? Ben. That's why she names the kid Ben, because Ben's the one who saved her life when she was a kid. I'm not saying, and Dave, hold on, let me just say this. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying that even with all those faults, I'm still enjoying it.
This is the one I was looking forward to the most. And this has been the biggest disappointment out of everything.
Well, for me, it's not a disappointment. I do get where you're coming from, but I would say this. I'm waiting until the last episode of this because, again, the big fault with these Star Wars shows, which is different from the Marvel shows, is I think these really are being made like long films. And a long Star Wars film has the excitement at the start, then it drops, and then you've got this sort of middle bit, and then it gets up again. And I think I'm reading it differently from other people. The one thing I'm not concerned with canon or lore, because I honestly, I don't like my sci-fi being treated like a religion. I've spent too much time in church.
You know, Star Wars is a religion, right?
I don't care. I'm not treating Star Wars like a religion. It's about space wizards and fight. And so far, I've enjoyed, especially the fight scenes in this. I've enjoyed them greatly, especially when he met Vader. When he meets Vader, and he's just like, I don't want none of that. See you later. I love that moment.
He ran off like a pussy.
Yeah, no, that made sense to me. Again, his connection to the Force is gone. It's not as strong as it was. And the sense of Vader. The one thing that episode did was give a sense of how overwhelmingly evil Vader was.
It just proves Disney's just ruined.
I disagree. I think the problem with Star Wars canon is it doesn't make any sense. It's like Terminator, right? And I keep saying this to my friend. He keeps saying, "Oh, it's got so many plot holes." What? Like Star Wars doesn't have plot holes? Yeah, let's not fire on that. Let's not fire at that ship that's leaving us now. Because we've got to save ammunition. Really? Oh, Vader returns to the planet where he was born and doesn't bother even setting foot on it. Really? Vader doesn't even question. He knows he's got family that knows he's Anakin.
And why has he got no connection to her?
Who? Leia. Because apparently her powers have not manifested. And this is another thing. No, but remember, he doesn't have a connection to Luke until Empire Strikes Back. In fact, he doesn't have any sort of connection to Luke until the very end.
He can feel everyone else. He can feel everyone else's.
No, he can feel Obi-Wan. No, he can sense Obi-Wan. But he doesn't have connection to Luke or Leia.
He can sense all the good and bad and the dark side and all that sort of stuff. He's got connection with
if you
can't feel his own children.
No, because he's got no connection to them. He has no. Remember, they're not his children. They're Anakin Skywalker's kids.
All these Jedi's can feel the potential of these kids.
No. That's why they test them. They don't know their
potential. Yeah, but they feel the potential before.
Well, no, because everybody's got a connection to the Force.
They always go, the Force is strong with this one.
I'm not arguing with you. I'm not doing it. We'll do a big Star Wars debate another time. I'm not hating on. I get what people aren't enjoying it. What I don't like is the fact that at the end of the day, it's Star Wars. It's not. I'm not saying it can't be highbrow entertainment.
I'm just thinking it's because we're on episode 4 now, out of 6.
And Dave, I'm not questioning.
And it's nearly finished, and it's like, what's going on?
But Dave, I'm not questioning your right not to enjoy something. I think everybody's got a right not to, or otherwise. I've approached it differently in that I wasn't expecting much. You're talking to the guy here, right, who went to see the last trilogy, right, and now understands how good the Last Jedi was, right? The Last Jedi is such a good film compared to the other 2 movies, because at least the Last Jedi tried to do something good, tried to do something different. Right.
Yeah, but you got to remember, the person that's been directing Obi-Wan Kenobi is the person who's done the first 2 films.
No, that was J.J. Abrams.
Yeah, but she wrote them.
No, she didn't. It was Abrams wrote the script for the first one. The second one was I can't remember who wrote the second one. It may be. Look, I don't see anything wrong with the story. I really don't. That moment when Obi-Wan walks into the bottom of that temple, and
I'm just glad there's no Jar Jar Binks. That's all I know.
Oh, Dave. Leave Jar Jar alone.
This is what this reminds me of. It reminds me of the first trilogy. And it's like...
No, I'm not having that. Didn't you feel anything when he walked into that temple of ground and he saw all these fellow Jedis in whatever those vats?
Yeah, but one of the guys was a badass Jedi that was in bloody... not the Bad Batch. The Clone Wars.
Yeah. Didn't you feel anything?
Ahsoka lost her lightsaber and stuff. I was like, that's that dude.
Didn't they grab you?
The badass one. And I was like, why have they kept him? because he's a badass.
They're not keeping them. They're just that was the
They're
sign
keeping
of
them there for a reason.
No, I don't. But it's not out of respect. That's just
No,
we killed them.
they're doing stuff to them.
Probably just taking like DNA or whatever from them. But like I said, everybody. I don't want to be quoted the wrong way here because I'm not
There's
saying
been some good things and there's been some terrible things.
No, Dave. Let's stick
But
to
at
our
the moment,
guns.
this has only got a 4-star rating for me.
Okay, but let's stick to our guns. I get why people don't like it, and I've got no problem with people not liking it. All I don't like is the way that there's certain people who are like. I think Reva, the one who plays Reva, has been superb. I don't get how people expect angry Sith Jedi people to behave. Yeah,
No, but
she's acting.
I think it's more the fact that it's called Obi-Wan and it's all about Reva.
No, it's not. She's
she was not even in. She's not even in most of this stuff. It's normally the Temptress. Not is it the Temptress? The others.
She's dead by now.
Oh, so she's dead, but everyone else ain't. Is that what you're saying?
Well, no, she's dead. They did look right. Don't make me show my nerd colours like this, bruv. Right? She dies.
She's in Rebels. She's in Rebels. So how's she dead?
Who are you talking about?
Is her name the Temptress? The Temptress?
Which
She's
one?
with the Grand Inquisitor.
The Seventh Sister. You've got the Inquisitors are the ones that go around calling themselves second brother, first sister, fourth sister.
Yeah, but she was one of the Inquisitors.
Reva's
the Temptress was in Rebels.
No, I don't. Which one are you talking about?
She used to go around with the Japanese guy.
No, that was fourth sister. She got killed in Rebels.
So
they fight,
she was a badass.
Yeah, but she got killed when she's fighting Darth
Ezra.
Maul. Darth Maul whacks her. Yeah, she gets the scene where they kill her off screen, but her body falls one way and her saber falls the other.
Yeah, I think she half good. If I remember right.
No, half of them. If we're talking about the right character, because I don't know if we are, but half of them die in Rebels when they fight in Darth Maul. So at least 4 of the brothers and sisters die there. Some of them die. 2 of them die in Fallen Order. One of them at the end of Fallen Order. And Reva's she's the one that they all hate because she was a youngling.
I don't know.
I do.
I think she's got too much airtime. She's got more airtime than Ewan McGregor.
No, she doesn't. She's the main antagonist. She's been brilliant.
I reckon you make work out of minutes. She's got more
I've really, really enjoyed her presence. I think she's done a really, really good job. And I'm hoping that she gets some sort of redemption by the end of this.
I was just hoping Darth Vader was going to break her neck.
Not yet. That's gonna. There's something. Vader's gonna end up killing her, but not in a way you think. I think it'll be when the Inquisitor returns. No, so when the Inquisitor returns, she turns. Yeah, she'll come to the light side. She will, because she'll forgive. She's angry at Obi-Wan for leaving her behind, and I think once she forgives Obi-Wan, that's when she'll that'll be the end of it.
Well, there's 2 episodes. There's not much left.
That's 2 hours. It's more than enough time. I've seen other stories tell stories in less time. That's at least 2 hours of entertainment left.
Just rush it again.
I'm personally going to give Obi-Wan like a 7 out of 10 because I'm still enjoying it. I think it's still good. I think it does have problems.
It's watchable because it's Star Wars.
No, I think it's watchable because the story's all right. Like the fact they had a heist in the last episode. Let's go rescue Leia, and the little girl playing Leia has been superb. I think it works. I don't think
they've just got someone that looks like her and just acts like her.
I don't think the story's about Obi-Wan in the sense that people.
It's nothing to do with Obi-Wan. It's all about Princess Leia.
Let me finish my sentence.
No,
I don't think the story. I don't think the story's about what Obi-Wan, but it's about what Obi-Wan done. Because Obi-Wan's got a lot to answer for in terms of what happened.
So he's done this one mission and then went back to the desert and become a.
No, I think there'll be a season 2. I'll put money on it. Because although there are a group of fans who are throwing abuse at the cast, I think they've done a really good job. And I think the last 2 hours, they may stick to the landing and surprise everybody. And I hope they don't have any more scenes like they had in this one.
I thought this was going to be the one. I thought this was going to be better than Mandalorian.
Well, I think Andor might suit you more then, because I think the problem here is I like the lighter side stories, the stories that are more like the old Star Wars I remember. And then some people like the dark stuff, and I think Andor's going to go down that route. very much so in terms of like.
Well, as soon as you bring the Inquisitors, it should be more darker.
No, but I think that takes the fun away. The one thing I'm always determined to have, and I know it annoys a lot of people, is Star Wars should always be fun. Okay, if it gets too serious, it's Dune. It might as well be Dune. It might as well be all those other franchises.
Oh, don't go that bad, mate.
No, but that's what I mean. It might as well be all those other things. And the one thing I believe Star Wars should always be is fun. And I think people, but I don't want to criticize people because I think people are entitled to have their views on this. But the one thing I'm determined is it should always be fun and it shouldn't become a religion.
I just think it's gone too Disney. Everything's gone too Disney. The first season of Mandalorian was brilliant. The second season was good. Boba Fett was terrible. And now this is following suit.
Again,
four episodes of Boba Fett that was good. Half of it was good.
Well, look, I don't know. I'm of the opinion that the problem with Boba Fett is that the Mandalorian was actually meant to be Boba Fett, and they for some reason they pulled away from doing that. And really, that just should have been it because it doesn't make any. They've now got 2 shows with 2 helmeted dudes on it, and now it doesn't make.
But then they're going to have another one soon as well.
Are they?
Well, yeah, because once Ahsoka comes out, you're going to have Sabine. She wears a helmet.
Yeah, but not all the time. She usually has it off.
Yeah, but so do they now.
No, not anymore. Mandalorian can't take his off
their bloody crash helmets off, isn't they?
Mando has to keep his on. Otherwise, he's going to get in even more trouble. I think that what you're going to see here is, I've enjoyed Obi-Wan. I've got no problems with it, and that's why I'm giving it a 7 out of 10. The CGI's been bad, especially this episode, and it played into the idea that really they're not putting that much.
But the trouble is, when it came to the windows and stuff, the CGI was good.
Well, yeah, because I think they paid a lot more.
And when the fighters were fighting in the sky, it was good.
The CGI was all right with the scene where he's got the using the Force, but it failed at one distinct moment, and that's when he was running away from the water, and it was like, hold on a second, my man got through the doors, he wasn't even wet.
Why would he not just use the Force to hold the wall back?
I think he's still getting used to his powers being back again. But I love the moment when he twirled his little lightsaber. That bit where he takes out the stormtroopers in the dark, I thought was absolutely brilliant. And I really, really like that. But the bit I like the most is when he's in the temple and he sees all his fellow Jedis encased in that.
No, that was good. That bit.
But I do agree.
That's where they should have put Samuel L. Jackson. Then you could say he's dead for once.
No, I still think they plan to bring Samuel back. But yeah, look, Dave. I don't want to. I'm not dismissing what you said because I think a lot of what you said has valid use. I've just spent so much of my time this week having to deal with angry people putting out so much horrible abuse about it. I'm like, it's Star Wars.
Oh,
no, I'm not saying no, Dave. I'm not saying you did. I'm saying it's Star Wars. I don't understand what people expect from Star Wars. And
everything.
And that's the question I really want answered. But I'm also that I don't care about canon. I'm tired of this obsession with fucking canon.
Yeah, but if it's all about canon, then don't.
Yeah, but if it's canon, you can't make anything because Star Wars was made in the 70s, and like when they had the big buttons.
Well, that's it. You delete that and go with the New Republic and stuff like that.
And I'm just like, look, if they're gonna make canon the overall rider, and it doesn't take into account that things change over time, special effects get better, technology gets better.
And if you notice, it's also the first time ever where it's gone 10 years later.
Yeah. And like, can we please?
You don't have timelines in Star Wars ever.
Yeah, but what annoys me about that is the way people keep going, well, why does Obi-Wan look so much older in A New Hope? Because it's a different actor. Stop it. I don't care. Nobody cares. Why does anybody care? It's a different actor. It was made in the 70s.
No.
Stop it. But this is what they're doing. And it's like, oh, Reva annoys me. She's meant to annoy you. She's a bad guy. You're not meant to look at her and go, oh, all right, she's really cool. Oh, I love her. Do you know what I mean? It's like those guys who name their kids Anakin. Why did you name? He killed out. Why? But that's just me, David. It just winds me up. I can't take these people anymore. I don't think I'm a fan or a nerd anymore. I've got to get my badge taken away from me.
I think we're too old for this shit.
We'll see. I still enjoy it, but I'm just like I can't get into these silly debates about canon because Star Trek fans are the worst for that. And it's like, well, it doesn't look like the original series. They made the original set with some cardboard and fucking paper mache. They made the monsters with paper mache. The set's made with wood and maybe a bit of plastic. Why? What? How? What? You want the series to look like that forever? Because they've already started moaning about the new show. Because the new show's gone back to the original series format, so each episode's its own story, and it doesn't carry on. Nothing carries on. It's just its own story. And I'm just like,
should be.
Well, no, that's what the original series was, which only lasted.
That's how it should be. You should always have a different story.
Yeah, but then nothing carries on, so there's no cumulative effects.
You do like a couple. But
that's the whole thing. They don't. That's what the original series was like. The characters didn't. Like nothing changed. They stay the same, and that's been like they've already started moaning about that. And I'm just like, it's what you wanted, wasn't it? It's what you wanted, and I just hope Star Wars doesn't kind of just reboot the whole thing. Nobody cares. Like literally, if they're being that fanatical, just go look. Here's your Star Wars, and we're going to create a new version over here because it's just going to.
They just need to get away from all the Skywalker stuff.
You can't make. You can never. No, it was just a desperate attempt to cut it off and go, look, we won't touch it anymore because we need to move on. I know you all love Mara Jade. Mara Jade, yeah, Luke, yeah, right.
All they need to do is go to the High Republic and stuff like that.
Do you know any kids of people whose parents were serial killers?
Do I know any people that were serial killers?
Yeah, no, whose parents were serial killers?
No.
Or murderers or anything like that.
Well, I know people's dads that are in the army. They were probably killers.
Yeah, but you don't know any like killers, like mass murderers and stuff like that.
No, because people.
Right. Okay. Now, if you read Star Wars, right? If you read the extended universe of Star Wars, after Return of the Jedi, Luke carries on, sets up his own school, has a few problems, but sets up his own school, right? And becomes a very respected Jedi Master. Leia settles down with Han Solo and becomes at one point leader of the New Republic, right? And settle down and have a happy life. Now, that's fine, okay? But can you imagine any environment where people found out that Luke's dad and Leia's dad was a mass murderer who destroyed the planet? And they'd be like, cool with that shit. That's okay. You just carry on. No. And that's the whole problem with all the stuff that the fans love. The whole Luke settles down, gets married, has a kid with a character called Mara Jade, who also happens to be a redhead. Right? Which other character in the whole of comic book has a redheaded girlfriend?
Isn't the Mandalorian woman redhead?
Is she? I don't know, but
the one that's got the Darksaber.
Spider-Man, Mary Jane. They've literally created the same character across two universes, and the fans are angry at Disney because they didn't bring that whole extended universe. And you think Obi-Wan's bad? Do you know what brings the Jedi's down again in the extended universe? Do you want to take a guess?
What brings them down again? Serial killers.
No, bad press. These like at one point anyway. I don't know why I'm getting so angry, but anyway, we'll have a Star Wars debate another time. I can't be handling it, but 8 out of right. You didn't like it, Dave, so 4 out of 10 for you, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so the new season of the Diabolical Boys has dropped.
It's gonna be a long episode, right?
Yeah. It's cool. We've got time. It already is. The Boys dropped this week. The new episode dropped today. I've only watched 15 minutes of the episode because it didn't drop until about 1 o'clock.
It dropped till before we started, yeah.
What do you think? Are you enjoying it so far? We won't do a proper review.
Do you know what? No point yet. I'm actually loving this more than I did last season.
Okay. I'm all right with it. It feels like
because now he can take the pill and be a superhero for 24 hours.
Yeah, but again, in the book, they all get superhuman strength and stuff. I don't think that's going to happen in this.
Well, this is where they're getting it from these tablets.
Yeah, in the comic book though, they're already in the comic book. By the time we meet the boys, all the boys have been injected with V, and they've all got different powers. Like most of them are super strength, and even what's his name? I keep forgetting his name.
Which one?
But the guy. Let me get it. Let me get it. Let me get it. No, let's run, the boys.
Which
Let
guy?
me get it now. I'll get it up on the
What guy?
database. The lead guy.
The lead guy.
Jack Quaid, Huey. He's also got super strength. But in this, I think they're going to do something different. Like so far, Billy Butcher's got the whole eyes and the.
Cole Urban's got the strength vision and everything. Yeah.
No, I think he's just got the eyes. They didn't say
he had the strength. He had the strength in the last episode. Yeah.
Well, I think they're going to give everybody different powers. So it won't be that they've got like Huey's going to get something, and it sounds like it might be disgusting, but I don't know. But yeah, I think they're going
to be disgusting somewhere because there's always somewhere.
And the whole thing's taking a different turn in the sense that Homeland in the comic book, Homeland goes sort of crazy slowly. Like he's evil from the start, but he starts to lose it slowly.
He is starting to.
He's starting to bend, but he's going in a different direction from the book. So what a lot of people don't know, in the original book, Black Noir is actually his clone. In this, it's different completely. So Black Noir is actually his clone, and his clone's been going around doing some nasty stuff, and Homelander thinks it's him. So he starts to go mad, thinking he went and did things they didn't do. And this is completely different, and I do like the changes they've made. And so far, I'm really, really enjoying it. Not a huge amount of action, but what action has been, like, I'm sorry, if you penises, I don't want to spoil
that was hilarious. That one was hilarious.
I think the last season, the worst things that happened were when Annie got made to give the deep head. That was a pretty mean scene. And then when I think the A-Train is her girlfriend sits on that guy's head and crashes it between her thighs.
I think it's getting more gory as it goes along.
I think this is like not even the invisible dude when he got that bomb.
Yeah, I mean, when Cole Urban had the eyes and he was after that bloke and he just cut the car in half and cut his head in half. That was
I think this season's going to get a bit dark, and they're also doing Hero-gasm, which I'm very surprised they're doing because it's yeah. Even Anthony Starr, who plays Homelander, said he's not going to watch it. So yeah, we're looking forward to that. I'm enjoying it so far. I won't give it a rating until the season end, I think, but it's definitely worth watching. Don't watch it with your kids. I don't care how mature your children are. Do not watch this show with them. It is disturbing in parts. It just is. And they don't need to see this. Especially if you want to give them a really bad fetish. Don't do it. Don't do it. This is where it all goes wrong for young people.
It's TV.
And they've got an outstanding cast. The boys, you already know, the boys are already superb, but also like Stan Edgar, who played by Giancarlo Esposito, is brilliant. He was brilliant in Breaking Bad, but he's great in this as well because he just brings that sort of coldness. But
yeah, but he plays the same character in Mandalorian as well, doesn't he?
No, there isn't. Like in this, he's a much more confident sort of dude. You know, he's doing stuff because he's.
And then he's also the dictator in Far Cry 6.
So yeah, I think he's really. I'm enjoying it. I hope it keeps up the standard. I hope it doesn't go too far because too far for the boys.
I think this is going to go too far.
No, I hope it doesn't because too far for the boys is going to be pretty damn far. And they already went there last season, I think, with Stormfront and artsiness. But
I think the last 2 years we've done our yearly reviews. The boys has come out with 1 or 2.
Yeah, because it's superb. It is a superb series. Right, we've gone on long enough, so we've got 2 shows that I'll quickly say because I don't think Ms. Marvel.
We can leave that to next week.
Yeah. The only things I'll say is if you catch up, if you're watching stuff along with us and you want to know what we're talking about, we'll definitely be watching the second season of Miss Marvel. Second episode. Orville's out. I think the second episode of Orville dropped yesterday. And I watched the film Interceptor, which I'll do a review of next week as well. But yes, we have talked. See, Dave, we're talkers.
Way too long.
We're talkers, Dave. That's why I'd split this podcast into two, probably.
We need to break it to two, this one.
But ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us. This is the latest episode of The Boys from Bossk. It's good night from me, CJ Rock.
It's a good day from me because it's still daylight.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, you take care. And don't forget, The Boys from Bossk will return.
Ciao for now.